Yo, what is going on, everyone? It's GentooMan here, also known as Rainy, and I wanted to talk in today's video about Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Now, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire is directed by Gil Kenan and stars McKenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, and Paul Rudd, as well as a lot of the original Ghostbusters cast, and man, was this movie fun. Now, I just got home a little bit ago from seeing this movie with my dad, and I just wanted to talk about it quick. So let's start off by talking about the things that I liked about this movie. To start out, I just want to say, just like I said in the intro, this movie is a ton of fun. That was the first thing I thought when the movie ends, you turn to the person you're with, and you're like, oh, what'd you think? And my first reaction was, it was a lot of fun. It's definitely not like a movie that's going to go winning Oscars for probably anything, but it was just a really fun popcorn movie. And I think people really need that sometimes. Like, me, I really like movies. Some would call me a bit of a cinephile, and I like deep and movies like that. But this movie, although not deep, is just really entertaining and just really fun to watch. And I like movies like that. I love movies that are just fun for the sake of being fun. Like, this movie didn't feel like it was trying to be super deep or super elevated or make you think or anything. It's just a fun movie about catching ghosts. And I think that's what a Ghostbusters movie should be. Should have its smart, science-y humor that this one definitely had. It's not a dumb movie per se. I wouldn't say it's a dumb popcorn movie. It's a bit smarter than that. Some of its science-based humor is pretty good, and some of just its scientific ideas are not exactly realistic, but they work, It's just a fun movie that entertained me, and I feel like that's a criteria for a good movie. Not every movie has to make you think. Some movies are just fun to sit back and just have fun, and this movie really did that for me, and I really, really enjoyed that aspect of it. Adding on to that, all the performances are pretty good. I actually found myself really liking McKenna Grace's character. She was really good. I'm not typically the biggest Finn Wolfhard fan. I don't dislike the guy at all. I think he's good at what he does. Just I'm not super obsessed with him like some people are, but I thought he was pretty good here. I really liked his character as well. I wouldn't really consider this a spoiler, but you saw in the trailer, he had a brief interaction with Slimer. Their little thing in this movie was pretty much a highlight for me. And of course, Paul Rudd, he's great. He's always great. We love Paul Rudd. And all the original Ghostbusters coming back was great as well. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, they were great, and I like what they did with them because they definitely sort of sidelined them so that, the new characters can have their chance to shine and be in the spotlight, which I think is totally fair. It's a new generation of these movies. The old Ghostbusters don't have to be the main characters, but they also weren't just a random cameo, oh, here's this one and here's this one. They actually had a role in the plot, but they had a smaller role, so it felt connected and a Ghostbusters movie, a continuation, but also still felt like a continuation in the sense that these are the new characters and the new cast, and they just balanced both of them really well, I found. And moving on to the things that didn't quite work for me in this movie, there's a couple plot points specifically towards the end of the movie that feel a little too far-fetched, obviously a Ghostbusters movie isn't going to be the most grounded in reality thing of all time, but there's some aspects that are just, it feels like it goes a little too far into ridiculous. I'm going to try and say this in the most non-spoilery way that I can. There's a plot point towards the end that involves Kumail Nanjiani's character, and it's just a little ridiculous. That was the one thing that I'm okay, that's kind of taking me out of it. It's just a little out there, but on the other hand, his character was one of the most enjoyable in the movie. He was really funny. He brought a lot of energy to his scenes, and he was a great character, and he was still a great character through those scenes, so I could forgive it because it's this doesn't exactly work for me. I wouldn't have gone with this personally, but I'm really enjoying the character and I'm enjoying watching what's happening, so I can forgive it. There's another plot point throughout most of the movie involving McKenna Grace's character, which my dad told me that he was not, he didn't really think that worked for him, but for me personally, I thought that worked just fine. But I guess that might not work for some people. I could see his angle, how that might be a little far-fetched for some people, but it did work for me. And lastly, the final battle kind of feels really short. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of scale for what's about to happen, and then it just almost happens too quickly. It feels like they just had like some of the movie missing almost. Just feels like it all closes a little quick. But I don't know. It was an enjoyable sequence. It just felt a little fast, and I kind of expected a little bit more out of it. But overall, those are my thoughts on the movie. I know it's not super in-depth or anything, but I don't really think I've done an in-depth movie video unless it was on Poor Things. That was just me going in-depth about how I didn't like that movie. Yeah, I definitely had a good time with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. If you're a Ghostbusters fan, I would definitely recommend it. And if you just want a fun movie to go to, you don't necessarily have to turn your brain off and watch something stupid, but just go watch something to be entertained, I would recommend this one. I know there was a lot of people going to see it over the weekend. I think it's doing pretty well at the box office, but I could be wrong in that. I would definitely recommend you see it if you're on the fence. Just go and have fun. Just go have a night or like a day or whatever time you want to go to the movie. Just go have a good time. Like, don't go for some life-changing experience. Don't go for something stupid. Just go have fun. Anyways, guys, that is going to wrap it up for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe if you're new. You all know the drill at this point. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later.